signals ensures the world will rely on U.S. satellites at least for a while. As one official here put it, if we want to deny data to the enemy, it's much easier if we own the system. Jamie McIntyre, CNN, the Pentagon.
2 U.S. Navy ships are bound for the Caribbean at this hour. They're taking Marines to the Puerto Rican island of Vieques, where protesters have camped out at a U.S. bombing range for a year. The military is providing support for a federal operation to remove the demonstrators. That could happen as early as Monday. It's been postponed twice because of publicity. Let's check in now with Karen McGinnis in the CNN Weather Center, who is tracking some storminess. Karen.
We've got plenty, Jim, to tell you about. Let's begin across the southeastern United States. Where you see the green shaded area, that's where we are looking at the wet weather. But you see some of these brighter shaded areas. Those indicate the thunderstorms that we have seen in the past hour. We take you back about 24 hours ago. The storms moved out early from Atlanta. But look at the line of storms right across Jacksonville. That produced 1-inch size hail. But boy, is the rain really coming down all across Virginia Beach and into Richmond, as well as into Raleigh and into Hatteras and Wilmington, North Carolina. Take a look. Chicago, guess what's on your way? Yes, we have a small disturbance which is moving across the Midwest. So
they were among the first U.S. ground troops in Vietnam. Now, 35 years later, the men of Charlie Company return to the battlegrounds. On Late Edition with Wolf Blitzer, Vice President Al Gore discusses international policy as he seeks the White House. And on the 25th anniversary of the fall of Saigon, former prisoner of war, Senator John McCain, will recount his visit this week to Vietnam. That's noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. The World Today returns after this word. There's a possible trip to Vietnam by President Clinton because of what he calls an unwillingness by the Vietnamese to improve relations with the U.S. McCain is just one of many veterans marking the war's end in Vietnam. Our Carolyn O'Neill was with the men of Charlie Company as they headed back to Ground Zero.
It was 1965 when the first American ground troops came ashore near Da Nang in central Vietnam. 35 years later, near that same stretch of beach.
I mean, it's a beautiful country. Yeah.
Not far from the village of Chu Lai, where they were stationed. The men of Charlie Company, 1st Battalion, 7th Marine Regiment, returned to Vietnam.
We came in together, we stayed together, and we left together.
Yeah, we even kind of liked each other.
We're hearing that more veterans are coming back to Vietnam.
Well, I don't think there's anybody in this group that didn't have great apprehension. We're all coming for some closure. We're coming to say goodbye to some people we never got a chance to say goodbye to. They were put on helicopters and were gone, and we never got to say bye.
Together again. This trip, recorded by friend Stephen Rockwell, took them back to the places where they lived.
That's where we had our swimming pool.
Like 1,000 years old.
And where they fought.
And right now I got the heebie-jeebies and the willies.
Of the 190 men in Charlie Company, 17 were killed and 110 wounded during their 13-month mission, most on this ground, in a bloody battle called Operation Indiana. More would have died if it weren't for one man's heroics. Robert Ingram, the company medic, was awarded the Congressional Medal of Honor 2 years ago for gallantry beyond the call of duty. When shot 4 times himself, including a bullet through his head, he risked his life treating other wounded men on the battlefield.
I thought he was dead for 30 years. So I'd show a picture in a Life magazine, a doc, and I'd say, you know, the poor son of a bitch got killed that day.
So Ingram helped them again, helped them reunite.
I don't really know why I came except to pay homage. See what it can do for me, see what it can do for these are brothers.
In an emotional ceremony, they left a plaque bearing the names of fallen comrades.
Semper Fidelity, Semper Fi, rest in peace.
And in a gesture of peace and apology, they gave villagers money for medicine, farming supplies, and donated $1,000 to help build a school. The trip was also an opportunity to see Vietnam today.
But I can remember the area as being some of the most beautiful countryside that I've ever seen, and this time, hopefully nobody's going to be shooting at us.
But what did your family and friends say about...
Why? Nuts. Why?
Why are you coming? You know, why are you going clear over there and do all that? Why do you have to come back?
I wasn't going to come, and they actually encouraged me to come.
So armed with cameras, instead of rifles, they patrol the new Vietnam including a stop at this luxury resort on China Beach. A lot has changed in 35 years.
I was 142, 30 inch in the waist.
I was 140. 160.
145. And I was
145.
Before and after, Vietnam has changed as well.
This is a once-in-a-lifetime shot. We're not going to be back here again, I don't think. But as a group, it's
especially if you don't. If I might have to be back to show pictures of that hotel.
well, that's true. If I could get some kind of a raid on this hotel, I'd be back in a second.
Cheers, guys. So Charlie coming.
Carolyn O'Neill, CNN, Da Nang, Vietnam.
CNN's Travel Now looks at Vietnam's booming tourism industry Saturday morning, 6:30 and 11 Eastern. And that is the world today. Next on Larry King Live, the host of Politically Incorrect, Bill Maher. And 1 hour from now, CNN Newsstand brings you part 2 of Susan Candiotti's interview with the commander of the INS raid to get Elian Gonzalez. That's 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific. Monday on The World Today, attention deficit disorder, a better way to diagnose and treat the problem. Have a good weekend for all of us here at CNN. Good night.
It's Friday, April 28th, 2000.